Welcome back, everybody. We've got defensive coordinator and inside linebackers coach Peter Sirmon here ahead of Cal's home game at California Memorial Stadium in Syracuse. We'll go ahead and get started with Jeff Brotto from Cal Bears on SI. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, how you doing, Coach?
Morning, Jeff.
Can you just talk about what you're getting these days from your pass rush and how your secondary, which is obviously real good, sort of allows you to be maybe more aggressive going after the quarterback?
Yeah, we've had, this season's kind of played out where we've had some real good opportunities to rush the quarterback, some situations that you have a lead or at the end of the half, end of the game that you can kind of pin your ears back a little bit. I think the guys up front are continuing to do a good job of rushing the quarterback. We got to continue to do it by committee, who's available, who's fresh. But the guys in the back end, the whole thing is extremely dependent upon the front end of the back end of how we kind of match that thing up. If we choose to rush 4 and drop 7, or if we choose to, bring more than 4, it all kind of has to work together. But, the ability of playing some different covers in the back end allows, hopefully what you're trying to do is create a little bit of indecision with the quarterback to hold the ball, maybe not get that ball exactly, perfectly on time with whatever the concept might be, and that allows the pass rush to affect it.
Have you been more aggressive this year than in the past?
I think we're calling some more defenses on, first, second down. I'd have to go back and really dive into the total number of things that we're doing on third down. We're trying to be a little less consistent with what we do. That is a thought process of what we're trying to do. But to go back and really study the whole third down thing or the obvious pass, I'd have to go back and examine that a little bit.
And can you just talk about the emergence of Xavier as a real pretty consistent force for you?
He's been a pleasure to watch develop. Xavier, if you guys had a chance to come out to watch practice, he doesn't say much, but boy, he's really taken a lot of pride in the development. And I think there's several guys like that. I was reflecting on the guys, kind of where we were defensively last year at this time and where we're at, right now in the season. Xavier Carlton has made tremendous strides. Ryan McCulloch has made tremendous strides. Miles Williams, last year we were playing with Patrick a little bit, and Miles Williams has made tremendous strides. Noah Williams has made tremendous strides. So there's been a significant Hunter Barth. I mean, holy smokes. I mean, there's been a lot of guys that we're extremely proud of. They put the work in. They've continued to invest in themselves. They've really bought into what Justin does here in the program. And we've seen huge amounts of growth and development with all those guys. And then you have some new guys that join us, and you see a significantly better product on the field.
And last thing, if I could, how important will it be to get pressure on this quarterback and this offense?
Yeah, talk about a dangerous passing attack, a really, really well-coached, the fundamentals. They're going to give us a lot of different pictures. They've done a great job of bringing some talent in, and I think they've done the best job is they're playing to the strengths of their quarterback, which I think that's what good coaches do. Offensive, defensive coordinators identify the strengths of the skill players of the offensive line and play into those hands. And I think they've done a fantastic job with that. You're still seeing them continue to grow, but we're going to have our hands full with the skill at wide receiver, with the different concepts they're going to give us and the talent at the quarterback position. We have a huge challenge on Saturday.
If I could, what are the skills that you're referring to that most impress you in McCord?
Well, you got McCord, but then you got Pena, you got Meeks, you got Gadsden, who was a crazy physical matchup for us. And then the back, I believe the back might be the Syracuse leading receptions from the running back positions. He's extremely involved. So there you got 4 guys that they're spreading the ball around to with targets. So they're going to play. They're going to use the entire field. They're going to stretch it horizontally, vertically, quick game, some shot plays, some of the big box fades that are always challenging to get any support or any help on those DBs with those. And the size of the guys that are doing it are going to be this is going to be a big challenge.
Thank you.
We'll go to Steve Croner from the SF Chronicle.
Good morning, Peter. Probably a question that was asked last week, and in some, I'm sure you in in a perfect world, wouldn't want this question asked, but you've lost Kedu Luave again, and you did reference Hunter just a few moments ago. But what how would you evaluate what Hunter and Liam Johnson did, and what do you expect from them going forward?
I think they've both done a very, very good job stepping in. The production, I think Hunter's had a couple sacks. He's a stalwart. He's one of the finest special teams players we have. Liam had a huge interception late in the game. So what we've done with them is, Hunter can play both Mike and Will. Liam is still playing the boundary backer for us here, but we're going to still kind of rotate those guys through because they do play so much on special teams. That we just got to keep bringing those guys along. And I think as they get more reps, as they get more experience in what we're doing defensively, I think they'll continue to be that productive force. Teddy's been extremely steady. He's been a great player for us every game. His consistency in approach, his consistency in performance, I'm extremely happy with what he has brought. So those three guys will continue to handle it. And then when Cade, gets back, it's a day-to-day kind of thing. When he gets back, then we'll kind of see where we're at and continue to identify and try to evaluate what the best rotation is for those four guys to help us win.
Are there any schemes you cannot or are a little hesitant to run without Cade? No.
Those guys do a nice job. We make some scheme changes week to week based upon what we're facing offensively. But both those guys have enough tools to do everything that we ask that boundary backer to do.
Thank you, sir.
Matt Moreno, Rivals.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
You talked about Hunter, and obviously he was somebody who was kind of making a transition from one position to another. When did that kind of change from like a guy just trying to learn things to, hey, he can actually help us and play at a high level?
He made tremendous strides in spring, and the last 3 or 4 practices in spring, I think he finally, all kind of came together for him. Everybody learns and kind of grows and develops at different speeds. Hunter, you put Hunter's high school film on. I mean, he's physical. He's violent. He's all over the field. Originally, we brought him to play safety. Hunter's body continued to grow, and he kind of got on that threshold of, what's the appropriate position for him to play. We ended up moving him inside linebacker. He really kind of dove into the second year of him playing inside backer, and he's up to 230 now. So the physical development, the weight room, his approach to it has really lent him this opportunity. He's been prepared all season. Just didn't have the opportunities yet. But I think this is a really, really good example of what a young man can do when he's all into the program. He continues to dive into his development, and he is just waiting for his opportunities. This has been the traditional growth pattern of college football for years and years and years. Now, some guys, if they're not playing as much as they want, they go ahead and jump, which is, everybody has their right to do, but you kind of lose the opportunity to watch these guys develop year after year. And once they get to the top of their career, all the work they've put in comes to fruition. They have an opportunity to make a huge impact on the team.
I know you've talked about different positions and seen guys in the past and, what kind of qualities they have that play at a high level, All-American level. With Noel, what do you see in terms of his talent and skill set that makes him somebody that could be in that conversation?
Yeah, I think if you just peel back, any of the intangibles, you talk about the tangibles, he's got really good length. He has phenomenal ball skills, and he's got what I would consider just this really good body control. I think those things, and I think that's an underutilized, or people don't talk about it quite as much, is just body control, athleticism. Some people call it coordination. I look at, what Evan Weaver used to be. Maybe he wasn't the twitchiest person, but he was a coordinated kid. He could stay on his feet, had really good ball skills. And that's where I see Noel. Noel has good physical attributes. We'll see, what his, what he runs, that's always the huge marker for those positions playing the outside part of the field. But the length, the stature, the body control, and the ball skills, I mean, those things really jump off of being highly sought after traits.
You talked about, comparing things to last year, where you were last year. What were some of the things that stood out to you when you saw like, okay, we're doing things better in this area, or maybe some things that you noticed are clear improvements from last year?
Well, I mean, I think, it goes back to, I've said this before, my first objective is to minimize scoring. I think right now, somebody put it on my desk. I think through 9 games, I think we're 16 points improved from where we were at, roughly 16 points from game 9 last year to game 9 this year. So that's significant. I think we're almost 2x on the number of sacks that we've had. So I think, that we're continuing to trend in a very, very good direction of taking the ball away. I think we finished last season at maybe tied for 1 or tied for 2 or something like that with takeaways. And I think we're trending in that same direction. So the points by far is where we've made significant improvements. We've done a better job of sacking the quarterback. I think we're incrementally better on third downs. I think we're substantially better, the rush defense of where we're at. So I think we've made tremendous strides in a lot of different areas.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll go back to Jeff.
Yeah, Peter, on the topic of the pass rush, when you evaluate how effective you've been, you factor in quarterback hurries and all those stats as well, because I think you've got quite a few of those. You add those with your sacks, and it seems like you're impacting the quarterback a lot.
Yes, we do, Jeff. And there's another thing, pass disruptions of, how many times we're tipping balls from the interior rushers. And those are all, those all go a long way towards incompletion, obviously. I think there's probably 3 metrics right there where you got quarterback hits, you got sacks, and then you got the pass deflections or the pass disruptions, however you want to, categorize. So those 3 things, I have to go back and look and see what that cumulative stat is, where you're doing something that ends up impacting completions or incompletions, or ultimately maybe getting some opportunities to cause some interceptions or some takeaways.